So I have on set today 3 men that will be demystifying and explaining why their gender has decided to go against my gender when it comes to inheritance. Why do men feel the need to say that, to disinherit their wife when she decides to remarry?
I think it's mostly personal. Men are very territorial. Also, in fairness to them, sometimes they want to use it to keep an asset within the family.
Do we ask the question of why people took that decision? There are indeed genuine concerns as to why some men may think that if I die, I don't want you to marry another man. And I'll give an example. If a man passes, right, the asset goes to the wife and all that, the wife remarries. Now, there's a second marriage for the wife. If the wife dies intestate, what happens to the assets?
Let me ask you a question. What's your preference? Is your preference ownership or enjoyment?
Both. I want to own and enjoy
Why
it.
do you want to own what you did not own in his lifetime?
His asset is our asset too.
Okay, go and collect it. This is our own.
We're currently in an era where people are putting certain clauses to deter their spouse from remarrying if anything happens to them, if they want to inherit anything from their assets. It is called restrictive clauses, and fortunately or unfortunately, it is the men that are putting these clauses in their wills and their trusts these days. So I have on set today 3 men that will be demystifying and explaining why their gender has decided to go against my gender when it comes to inheritance. Welcome to the Legacy Room, proudly brought to you by First Trustees. My name is Mutiat. Some people decide to call me Capone, and I will leave the gentlemen to introduce themselves. I will start from My
name is Babatunde. They call me Babati. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Babati. Sage.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Abiodun Agbalaya. People call me Sage. I'm obviously from the other gender.
I thought you were going to tell them that you are prof.
Okay, that one too.
My name is Rotimi Obende. I'm Saro.
You can see that the gender, they are showing themselves already, and only me 1 against 3, but I know I'm going to win this battle today because the women must get what rightfully belongs to them.
Easy. We are not fighting.
Okay. Saro, what are restrictive clauses? Simple definition.
So there are things you put in your will, either to prevent, encourage, or provide incentives to those you consider as beneficiaries before they can enjoy the benefit, or in addition to enjoying the benefit. Simply put.
I like the word encourage because the only thing that came to my mind is you can encourage your spouse to remarry after your demise for her to enjoy your assets.
You
can also encourage her not to marry.
But
Encouragement goes is a two-way lead.
But Babati, why do men feel the need to say that, to disinherit their wife when she decides to remarry?
Well, I think it's a personal thing. In terms of, restrictive covenants, I think we should point out that it's not something that is just peculiar to wills, all right? It's something that, take for example, non-compete agreements, right? Where an employer employs somebody and says, you can't go elsewhere if you go. So just think about this kind of restrictive clause as a romantic non-compete agreement, where a man is saying, look, once we are married, if I die before you, if I predecease you, you can't marry somebody, and still keep the assets that I'm leaving for you. And like I said, I think it's mostly personal. Men are very territorial. Even though they won't, in most cases, won't put in that will that the reason why I don't want you, I don't want somebody else to marry my wife. You better be Mrs. X and be Mrs. X for the rest of this life. We'll meet in the beyond afterwards. But I think mostly because men are territorial. Also, in fairness to them, sometimes they want to use it to keep an asset within the family. So let's say, for example, there's an iconic building at a particular junction in Abeokuta, and it's always been known to belong to the A family. and you want it to be there. If you give it to your wife and your wife go and marry Mr. B and becomes Mr. B, that assets, the history is then, lost and the track is lost. So it could be some of the reasons. So it's not always because they are territorial, they are jealous that they want to do this. Give some credit to the men.
Thank you.
Okay, wait, don't steal the spotlight from me. This is my show. But two things came to my mind. There's a series, Is Dead and Is Still Trying to Control My Life. Which territory are you keeping when you don't go? You're dead. You don't have any territory again.
Oh, but people, aren't you the one that said that will speak from the grave?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, now.
Yeah, that's what they are supposed to do. Right?
You speak from the grave, but your territory is no longer on earth now. Your territory is in the grave.
Except, I had a lot of assets while I was alive.
Yes, now.
Yeah, so I'm still speaking from the grave into the things that are in, in life.
That's one. Number two is, if you have one iconic building, leave it as a family property now. Don't give it to anybody. So that before she remarries, she enjoys.
It's still the same thing.
Well,
you're going to still complain.
Yeah, you do have a point. So maybe when we get to the point where we talk about some tips on how to couch these things, right? Maybe there are better ways to write these things that make them look punitive. Like if you marry somebody else, then you lose it.
Nothing.
Right? There are ways that you can write these things, like you said, to encourage, right? So, for example,
you encourage her to stay unmarried.
Yeah,
the sweetest way to write it is the way it has been written.
Except there are also risks to writing these wills in certain ways.
Let's not tell them about it.
Yeah. So
let's not give them a spoon.
No. Because the audience needs also to learn that there are better ways to write these things, right? There are ways that you write it that it might just offend. I imagine that you're going to have a session for ladies, and they will give you their own, account of what they think. And some people might actually find a clause saying you should not marry. If you remarry, you lose this asset. They might find it offensive, right? And if it ends up in court, right, depending on the timeline where you get to court, for example, what the court will decide in 1974 may be different from what it will decide in 2006. I'll give you an example. There's an American case where some parents said, look, if you want to keep the assets, you must marry a Jew or marry into a Jewish family. All right. This was in 1974. Fast forward to 2009, right? In another case, some parents said, well, our grandkids can keep these assets so far as they marry within the Jewish, community. And then the court said, hey, wait a minute, isn't this against public policy, right? So the facts are very similar, but the courts are giving different, interpretation or attitude to it. But take a look at it. The first decision was in 1974. We are not too far from the Second World War, the Holocaust, and all those things, right? Jews had been, basically scattered and everything. And come to 2009, they'll be like, what mischief are we curing here? Let people marry freely. Let them keep the asset. Let them marry freely. So every man is a man of his time, right? So what the court will think, will matter a lot. So you better play safe by writing your will in a particular safe way.
Okay, Sage, I know in my mind that you not agree with Babati. So I'm going to turn fully to you and you look me in the eye and tell me that you support women that it's restricted.
Well, for me, sometimes when we argue against certain things, sometimes on the face of it, those things may look ridiculous, right? But do we ask the question of why people who took that decision went that way, right? So for me, yes, men are territorial, but there are indeed genuine concerns as to why some men may think that if I die, I don't want you to marry another man. And I'll give an example. Now, if a man passes, right, the asset goes to the wife and all that, the wife remarries. Now, there's a second marriage for the wife. If the wife dies intestate, what happens to the asset? Now, in that question, it may be it may be very simple if there are no kids, but now imagine if there are kids in the picture. Now, look at this scenario again. The wife marries someone, dies intestate. Of course, we all know the implication. The asset then goes to that man. Now, imagine a scenario where that man as well has other kids from a prior wedding. then your assets are now to be distributed, even if it's nice with your own kids. All right. So that's a valid reason. It may not be the same in all cases as to why men are doing it, but it's a valid reason why a man may think, come, do I really want to allow my wife to marry if I die? Then we may now, if that is the sole concern of a man, then we can talk about maybe ways of structuring your assets to at least protect your kids, such that even if your wife decides to remarry, you can be rest assured that the interests of your kids are well protected. But the point is that if a man says that, you can't just say, yes, it sounds unfair, but if you look at the interest of the kids, it may not be that unfair. So, best case scenario, we then maybe talk about available options for a man if that is your concern. Because honestly speaking, it's not really fair putting provisions like that in your will. But what about the interest of your kids?
So I think maybe it's a question of every case should be determined on its own merits. What are the surrounding facts?
So the thing there is, I know that Capone's gender, I've looked at it from their own perspective, which is fine.
Would hardly leave us anything.
Which is
Let's not go there.
which is
We're
fine.
not even going
Which
there
is
at all.
fine. But I could not have put it in a better way than the way Prof has put it. The fact that along the line, your assets are no longer your assets. They now belong to another person, and your children might not even enjoy that benefit.
You can imagine. Let's look at this angle. That man that you went to, maybe they were even doing things before you died. You can now imagine. You'll be angry in the grave.
But you know the other Capone. You know the other bit. We're looking at it because he said, "Don't go and remarry, don't marry, don't go and remarry." The question is, if you were to give it to your child or your children, would you just give it to them free of charge? Will you not think of how to better protect it? For me, and I agree completely with Prof. I also agree completely small with Babati.
Completely small.
And that part about territorial is maybe 50-50. But in terms of the reasons, they are purely the reasons.
So you don't think men would say,
Saru, it may sound ridiculous, but I think a lot of men, it's just for that point, not even about the kids.
I don't think so. I don't think
so. The
so.
case you are talking about, is it only one property? Yes.
No, but then look at what he said.
These children are not suffering.
Babati, look at what he said. He said, go back to the estate. That's and what's the distribution in the estate? They are supposed to take care of the education of somebody. There are supposed to be provisions for other children. If we look deeply, there may also be provisions for grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The point is, the man is not saying that let it go to my own siblings or something like that. He said, go back to the estate, and the people mentioned in the estate.
Where does it go? Does it go?
That's what I'm saying. It goes to the children. So eventually, it is not as a result of the fact that I don't want you to go and. You are free to, if that is your choice. But in terms of going to share, maybe that's the territory we are now talking about, going to share my hard-earned sweat.
Sweat that gave you emotional support for you to be able to acquire.
That's why you can enjoy it.
But
the point
you went on vacation to Dubai, she bought you gold.
That's not
let me ask you a question, Capone. Let me ask you a question. What's your preference? Is your preference ownership or enjoyment?
Both. I want to own and enjoy
Why
it.
do you want to own what you did not own in his lifetime?
His asset is our asset too.
Okay, go and collect it. This is our own.
But the most that's is our asset.
But you know that's the deception out there.
It's not deception.
That's how you people have successfully deceived yourself to think that his asset is our own and your own is your own.
Your money is our money.
Your money is our money and his own is our own. Okay, if you believe so, go and remarry.
Yeah, but if you go and remarry, you lose the assets now.
Yeah, that's the point.
Then it is no longer our own.
That means it was never your
the question then is, should the testator have written it that way?
Before we even go to that, let's flip it. If your wife puts a restrictive clause in her will saying that I'm giving you this asset to my darling, beloved, amazing, romantic husband, but the moment you decide to remarry, I'm taking back my assets. How would you feel?
We never get anything now. We never get anything. We won't be surprised that you gave us at all.
That the now who gave you to condition.
So if you want to marry 4 years down the line, you say, "Yeah, I'll use it for these 4 years." After I wasn't expecting the 4 years at all. So when I marry,
You see the mindset of men.
No, but the question is really: are we expecting?
You are not expecting it now.
Why you are not expecting is because statistics says that the men die before the women.
No, even if we were to live longer, the point is, let's be honest with ourselves.
Man that sorry to cut you there. No man that expects to outlive his wife.
Yeah.
Thinks that the wife wrote anything to assign anything under her will.
Because the women
goes to the except they don't have
even if they don't have charity, our own siblings.
It's the same philosophy now. Your money is our money.
Yes.
My money is my money.
Let's look at the order of creation.
Okay.
The men are
supposed going back to
the men are supposed to protect and provide for the women. And the women are supposed to nurture and provide for the children.
God bless you.
So if you are going to leave your assets in that chain,
wait. That second man that you want to go and marry, why is he not providing?
Zagi,
let's
the first man first.
Capone. That's an angle Capone hold. That's an angle you people don't want to even look at.
I mean, you can even interpret it that the man is even being a very nice person. I don't want to stop you from being married.
God bless you.
Right? And I don't want to hurt the ego of your new husband. I don't want him to live in a strange man's house.
Yes.
I don't want him to be having to deal with it.
Which is not even right in our culture.
Yeah. So it's very difficult to expect, maintenance, cutting of grass, power bills. I don't want your new husband to have all these problems.
God bless you.
I have trustees. My trustees will take care of this.
God bless you.
Go to his house.
God go with you.
You have my blessings. No, but Capone, that's it. You have my fullest blessings. No, but even think about it. What are the chances that the second marriage will succeed when you go with another person's wealth? Your head will not be. You will not respect that man. You will not be humble.
You will continue to be in the background.
The man will call you. So the man will call you 20 times.
Now, I say, I'm going to the house. I say, which one?
Capone,
no, the men have flipped it on me. Really,
Capone, look at it.
I need help.
Capone, look at it like this. Look at it like this. You carry all the wealth from another person's place to his place. You are supposed to be what? Submissive.
You are not being submissive.
That guy has, let's say that guy has 200 million. You come with 20 billion. Which grammar will the man speak to you that you will listen to?
You have been intimidating now.
What love are you going to talk about?
Leave it with the trustees.
What if the man
Leave it with the trustees, especially first trustees.
What if the man is wealthy and he
doesn't
doesn't need my money?
Why are you trying to then take?
Why are you not carrying? What are you carrying to?
Okay, so like Rotimi was saying, now, if your new husband is already very rich, why are you bothered about the pittance that your former husband gave you?
Drop it. Work for it together.
You also work for this new relationship. Now, do you know what it takes to date somebody enough to want to marry you after you have had a deceased husband?
That's why as a woman, I'll have more assets to myself because I'll eat from here and eat from here.
Also, there's also the place of greed. You just moderate your own expectations.
You won't get this entry for that people assets.
Leave it for the estate now. You are a richer family now. Leave those ones. Let them.
Okay, can you at least make me still benefit from his estate?
Like what kind of benefits?
Monthly allowance, vacation.
That the human cannot provide.
Again, for me, like I said, the concern, assuming that the concern is just about territory and all that, is not always the case. So I would say that as a man, as much as practical, because again, the point remains that all this marriage we are talking about, what if she doesn't even marry the man? That there's no and she still. Do you understand? So there are even ways a woman may see and do this thing. So for me as a man, if what you're trying to protect are your kids, there are a lot of other ways, particularly trust, to ensure that they are solid. Because no matter what you write there, and again, if you put the restrictive clause there, if it is challenged in court, depending on jurisdiction, you may not be certain of how the court may judge it. Again, based on public policy, like the example Batunde provided earlier. So as a man, if that is what you are trying to achieve, you are better off having trust arrangements in place such that even if your wife tries to find some ways around it, or it ends up in a court in a country where the court does not agree with you, then you do not start grumbling from the grave.
Okay.
Put things.
Thank you, man. This is where I finally call my female gender to come and help me. I've heard enough from the men on this set today. I'm going to call it a day. Cut. Yes, I need backup at this point.
Before we go, you need to let women know.
Of course.
They should be calming down. They should calm down.
They should be
So
coming.
they should take care of their children.
first and foremost, you're telling me to be calming down and my blood is all tabi.
Obviously.
At the overeat.
It's not an easy something.
Be calming down. Be
You
calming
know,
down.
you know what Capone, before you close, and I think you need to emphasize Prof's final suggestion or comments or advice. Don't pursue a battle you cannot win. Go and beg the man to create a trust. Be a beneficiary of the trust. Don't put clauses. You are just a beneficiary rather than an owner. If you're a beneficiary, they say, like you said, monthly allowances, 50 million, you go complain.
At all.
You say you want the property of 50 billion for what? When you are getting 20 million that you can grow with First Trustees, and you too can become a billionaire in the process. Fight for what is important. Leave the basics to the men to deal with.
Okay, so the men have decided to school me today because I came on set alone. But be rest assured that I'm going to come back recharged and I'm coming back with another woman because we have to show these men. Anyways, the most important thing from today's episode is that this other gender would always find a way to put restrictive clauses in their wills, and they will try to dim our lights, but we will always shine because First Trustees will help us structure that trust to ensure that whatever they do will always be protected. So like the men have said today, actually they've advised we, the women, to say, yes, your husbands can have the will, but the most important thing is to ensure that you sit down with your husband and you ensure that you have a trust that has you as a beneficiary to ensure that anything that happens to them, you are protected. You don't need the assets. You just need them to continue to take care of you and meet your lifestyle and welfare needs as well as your medical expenses. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for taking our time to drag me today, for bringing all the weapons that you had against me today.
Don't mention.
And don't forget to stay tuned, click on the subscription button, click on the notification button so that every time a new episode drops, you are the first to see it, you're the first to watch it, and you're the first to get all the insights that we have to offer when it comes to planning your inheritance without hustles. Don't forget to follow us across all our other social media platforms, First_Trustees, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere you'll find us at First_Trustees. So till we meet next time when I come with my women to come and go head to head with the men, we'll do our signature bye. Bye everyone.